Yo, what's the deal? Going live right here. Yo, peace and love. What's going on? Good people? Happy Monday. Peace and love. Happy Mindful Miraculous Monday. It's your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugar Marston. You are tuned into another episode of SRDaily. Another week 103. 103 weeks on the air, episode 509. We are here Mondays through Fridays, 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. SRDaily is where personality meets enlightenment. Sefu Sin Kofa, peace and love, my good brother. Peace and love. What's the deal? What's going on? I'm over here looking. I got my whole mic set up, and I was trying to get it set up, and it wasn't working. And I'm just like, I don't know if the Macs could do it. I don't know, man. The Macs got to be able to do it. iMac, the desktop, because I had a mic set up before and it didn't work, and I wasn't able to get it this morning. And so I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna try again. All right, I am going to try again this as soon as I'm done, as soon as the show is over. We're gonna keep trying. We're gonna figure this thing out. We got 2 mics set up. All right, and yeah, man, we're gonna figure this thing out. All right, it may need some technical support for iMacs, but yeah, this thing was not working. It looks nice. It got lights on it. It got, the 2 mics set up. You could change the voices, headphones. All right, sound effects. It's a nice setup, man. I am becoming, I guess, more professional. All right, just getting more situated. They say if you do something, when you do what you love, you got to do it to the best of your ability. And so I'm just trying to do it to the best of my ability, man. High quality. All right, I understand how quality sound impacts a show. All right, and I want to do more shows. I want to create more content, more audio stuff, more voice stuff. And so I got to have the proper setup, proper equipment in order to do all of that, right? And so, yeah, man, step by step. We are getting there. But yo, happy Monday, happy December, yo. November felt like it was 95 days. That might have been the longest November of my life, right? 41 years of age, and that might have been the longest November I've ever experienced. And I've had a few Novembers in prison. All right, 04 November, 05 November, 06 November, 3 Novembers I was incarcerated. All right, and this November seemed longer than all of them. Oh man, so many shifts, so many changes, so many waves. Right, accomplishment, disappointment, frustration, joy, love, some anger. All right, but it all accumulated to this moment, right, in which I am filled with joy. Love. There's still some frustration, still some disappointment, not as much anger. All right, not as much anger. The anger is being released, right? The anger is being released. Not that the situation has changed, just my perspective. I am changing. I am shifting. I am growing. I am becoming more compassionate, more graceful, more merciful, more loving, more forgiving, more understanding. Right? Feeling, compassion is the right word. Feeling more compassion for people. And learning, understanding, getting a deeper understanding of why people do the things that they do, right? Which is what the whole brain science is about. The whole neuroscience, the whole brain coaching program was all about understanding why we do what we do the way we do it. Not just as us as individuals, but being able to understand the people around us, why they may do some things, why our parents do the things that they do, why our spouses do the things that they do, why our children do the things that they do, why our siblings do the things that they do, our co-workers, our bosses, our managers, our community leaders, right? Why people do the things that they do the way that they do them. Understanding the brain, understanding framing, understanding limiting beliefs, understanding system 1 and system 2 thinking, and the default mode network. These are the different ways that we think. Autopilot, right? More analytical and more daydream-like, where it's like is more suggestive, right? So yeah, man, like I have transformed, and I am committed to continuing to transform, continuing to elevate, continuing to ascend into my higher self, right? Continuing to become fully who I am destined to be, who I want to be, the type of person I want to be, the type of legacy I want to leave, the type of way I want people to remember me, even if there's conflict, even if, we're not in full agreement, even if there's some static or drama there, how I want to show up in those spaces, how I want to present myself in those situations where drama is present, right? What a month, what a day, what a week, what a weekend, right? Holiday weekend. A lot of stuff was happening, man. Last week. Last week was like, the end of the month, but like a video game, Final Boss. Like last week was Final Boss, right? Because last week was my final exams, all right, written and oral. Daughter's birthday, right? And a lot of stuff in between and outside of and connected to and completely separate from that. Just so many emotions, so much emotion. But we're gonna get the show started, family. Mona Love said happy deliberate December, happy make it happen Monday. Absolutely. Fu said I was very active this November. This November was powerful. Blessings, brother, blessings. I am happy that you were active this November and that you had a powerful month. I love you and I appreciate you and I'm proud of you and happy for you. Maylin, what's going on, sister? Buenos dias. But let's get the show started, family. Once again, I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugar Marston. You are tuned into SRDaily, episode 509. This is week 103, 103rd week on the air, and we're going to get the show started right away with our first segment. Let's pull up the notes. Let's pull it up. We're going to start with our first segment. Oh, man, the notes from all the way back. But it's a quick fix. First segment of the day is a phrase of the day. Today's phrase is 2 words: level up, level up, level up, level up. See, I got a song, level up. Beautiful song. I love the song. But this is very, very, very simple. I like to believe that this is how each of us should strive daily to improve, to level up in all areas of our lives. All right, to level up in all areas of our lives, to make progress, to continue to work towards an ideal, to continue to work towards a destination within, right? How we show up emotionally, how we show up, physically, how we show up mentally, how we show up spiritually, how we show up financially, how we show up in all of the different ways, right? So understanding, like, yes, some things do take time to develop and manifest, but every single transformation begins with a decision, with the commitment, which only takes a moment. It only takes one moment to decide. It only takes one moment to commit, all right, to say in your mind that I am doing this from now on. I am not doing this from now on. That's all it takes, and that is the beginning of your transformation. That is the beginning of your change. That is the beginning of your shift. That is the beginning of your leveling up. All right, so as we start December, let us focus on leveling up. I'm focused on leveling up. I know I still got some things to work through in myself these first few days of this month. But one thing is true: it's not how you start, it's how you finish. It's not how you start and how you finish. And so I am going to have a very specific idea of myself for the end of this year, going into January, right, 2026. And so again, I know these first few days is going to be some remnants of last month, some remnants still lingering, but we're going to get them things out. And end of the week, going into next week, we'll be locked in on very specific agenda, and go through this month with intention, right? Go through this month with intention, with integrity, right? With innovation, right? With courage, with bravery, right? With fearlessness, with passion, with compassion, with understanding, with creativity. Right. Yeah. So like, make the decision, make the commitment. All it takes is a moment. A simple shift in thinking and action can change everything. A simple shift in thinking and action can transform everything for you. And not just for you. The beautiful thing about when you change, when you level up, when you transform, when you become greater, the people around you benefit. The people you love benefit, right? So this is why you have to focus on self. You have to focus on you, because when you go up, everybody, your children, your spouse, your parents, your siblings, your people in your neighborhood, when you get better, when you become great, when you become greater, right? When you level up, the people around you benefit directly, right? Directly from a financial benefit, from an energetic benefit, right? However which way you level up, there is a direct correlation between that and how the people around you are impacted, right? From the image, what they see that becomes possible for them if they thought it wasn't possible for certain things, right? And then just how you pour into them, how you're able to pour into them, right? Just again, energy. Everything's energy. So just the energy that comes off of you when you're around your people once you level up. So focus on leveling up, all right? Let's move right along to our second segment of the day. Today's second segment is our Need to know news of the day. Need to know news of the day. That is our second segment in today's news. Man, we're going to talk about it. A race for assembly is heating up in my district. District 36 here in the story of Long Island City. This is where Zohran Mamdani is still the current assembly member. He is the mayor-elect. So he will be abandoning his seat, right? He will be becoming mayor January, next month, this time. And so we're going to have a special election, right? There's going to be a race end of the year, right? I think next in the fall. Well, June and then in the fall primaries and in general. But it's going to be a special election, right? It's going to be a special election to get somebody in there to replace him for a few months. And this is this campaign shit is a lot. But yeah, race is heating up, man. So I've said it here on the show, said it publicly outside in the streets. I've endorsed my sister, Mary Jo Bida. Mary Jo Bida is so freaking incredible. Educator, mother, wife, activist, like fierce activist, fierce educator, fierce advocate, powerful mom, right? And I'm sure to her husband, a lovely wife, right? Mary Jo Bida is passionate. She is intelligent. She is creative. She is humorous. But she's a freaking fighter, man. Ever since I met her, she's been fighting, right, for our neighborhood. I said there was a rally Saturday here in Astoria for a campaign, and I said at the rally I spoke, and I said that so I met Mary just 5 years ago, right? Just in 2020 I met her. But since 2020, Mary Jo Bida has been in Queensbridge. In my perspective, in my opinion, she's been in Queensbridge more than any other elected official in my lifetime. So even when my boy Van Brammer was the councilman, right, and he was there often, right, when he was the councilman, Van Brammer was there often. But Mary Jo Bida has been there in 5 years, more than I've seen any other elected official in my life. Way more, unfortunately, than our current, assembly member who is, mayor-elect, and way, way more than our former. Listen, the person, so Mamdani is the assembly member now in District 36. Before Mamdani, it was Kathy Nolan. Kathy Nolan was the assembly member since 1984. She won the election in 84, sworn in 85. She was the assembly member for 36 years, from 85 to 2001. 2001? No, not 2001. Sorry. 2021, when Mamdani became. 2020. Whatever year that was, 2020. Whatever freaking year that was. 36, 37 years, she was the freaking assembly member. And I've seen Mary Jo Bida in the neighborhood 5 years, right? More in 5 years than I've seen her in 37 years. Holy shit. 35 years. I moved there when I was 2. Holy shit. That's terrible on her part, great on Mary's part, but that goes to show how powerful Mary Jo Bida is and how committed she is to this work. Now, this is where the race heats up at, because another dear sister whom I love, who is from Astoria, Alana, I think her name is Abdel Hamid, right? Alana launched her campaign last week. Rana is running for the same seat. Rana, has a great organization. She's been doing great work. She's volunteered a few times, distributing food. Rana is great. So with this campaign, I am excited because I think maybe for the first time, maybe I didn't pay attention to every campaign, right? But maybe for the first time, like, we can see a campaign that will be respectful, right? Like, this should be and could be a very respectful campaign. Both women are very respectful. Both women are very intelligent. So I don't see Mary or Rana throwing shots at each other, right? I don't see either one of them taking cheap shots at each other, focusing on what the other person ain't doing, can't do. I see both of them focused on their mission and Again, I stand with Mary Joe Biden 100%. And I hope I'm right. I hope that this is a respectful campaign. I hope that this is a respectful campaign. I hope that, I want to, organize a debate in Queensbridge, conversation, right? I'm going to organize a conversation in Queensbridge in the community center. So I'll speak with both of them about that, and then see if we can organize that in the center for the next, towards the end of the month or something like that, because the special election is most likely going to have to be January, right? Because you got to have a fucking assembly member. You got to have representation. So yeah, man, this shit is it's heating up. It's heating up. It is heating up. And as I mentioned, Saturday there was a rally on 36th Avenue, which is a heavy Bengali area, right? Bengali block. They said that in the 80s and 90s, when you wanted to have a Bengali event, regardless of where you were in the city, you had to come to 36th Avenue, right? If you know Astoria is an extremely diverse neighborhood. Astoria is extremely beautiful and powerful neighborhood. So yeah, I see that's true. But at the rally Saturday, the rally was specifically for Mary Jo Biden's campaign, and she received a real powerful endorsement from Senator John Liu. John Liu was the former comptroller. John Liu was the first Asian to hold that office, first Asian to hold this office, first Asian to run for mayor, right? He ran, I believe, against de Blasio. He lost. I think I picked John Liu. Right. I knew him a little bit. I know him a little bit. And so that was major. Her getting that endorsement from a state senator. All right. Coming out in the freaking cold on a Saturday here in Astoria. And we need to elect Mary. We need to elect Mary Jo Biden to Assembly District 36. So we gotta do what we gotta do. So I'm going to do as much as I can. Right. I've never really given a lot. I mean, the most I gave to a campaign was to my boy Lorenzo's campaign and Joycelyn Taylor when she ran for mayor in 2020, right? Gave a lot of energy, right? And Mary Jo Biden ran in 2020, right? And my friend, a beloved Lauren Ashcraft ran for Congress, right? All four of those folks I gave a lot of energy to during that time. And Stan Moss is running for borough president. Yeah, he was running for borough president. So I gave a lot to those campaigns energetically. I gave financially. All right. But I intend to give more to Mary's campaign. All right. So, but yeah, man, that's the race for Assembly. Pay attention. All right. If you're in New York, you can vote. Right. If you're in the district, right, you can be anywhere. You can come volunteer and support. We need donations. We need volunteers. We got to do door knocking. We got to do a lot of shit, right? But I'm going to do it for Mary. I've never door knocked. That's what I think I didn't do. I've never door knocked for a politician for a candidate. But I intend to do that for Mary because Mary is solid, man. Mary, everything I know about Mary is very solid. And then when I hear different things from different people, right, like my boy Blue Cheese from Queensbridge, childhood friend, they ended up being in NYU together in the master's program, right? Master's education program just recently. And he shared a story Saturday about how Mary advocated for him, something that I didn't know, right? Like, you don't know until you know. And so, like, it just, again, continues to add to the legacy, to the story, right? To the aura that is Mary Jo Biden as a people person, as a people's candidate, as someone who really will fiercely advocate for you. All right. In any way, even if it could jeopardize what she has going on, because the way she advocated for him, his words at NYU could have freaking jeopardized her graduation, could have jeopardized, her, could have, because it was graduation. They both had the same credits. They were in the same class. They said he couldn't graduate. She was graduating, and she said, this is his story, that, yo, how can I graduate and you can't? If you don't graduate, I don't graduate. Really putting your neck on the line for somebody, right? For a cause and a person that you believe in. Super powerful, super powerful. Sefu said, that's Fari. Fari said, all for Mary Jo Biden. Peace, sister. Sefu said, that door knocks for Charles Barron. Blessings. We're going to door knock for Mary Jo Biden for sure. Let's move right along, family, to our third segment of the day. Today's third segment is a tip of the day. Today's tip is on accountability. Take full accountability for your decisions and your actions. Full accountability. Yes, you can be influenced by others. Yes, Some others can make certain decisions tough, right? Certain decisions that they make can make certain, decisions that you have to make tougher. They can impact you. Clearly, we are impacted by others all the time on every level, right? But the only way to really take full control of your life, the only way to have full control over your life and your destiny is to take full accountability for every single decision, every single emotion, every single action, and every single situation in your life. Otherwise, you will be at the mercy of others forever. So, take accountability. And it's not easy, right? Especially, again, dealing with other people in different situations. But, that's the hard thing about hard things, that they're hard, right? But if you really want control over your life, right, take accountability. If you're unhealthy because of you, not because of your family, not because of the government, not because of the food, the choices of food in your neighborhood. Yes, all of those impact, right? That's real impact. But if you want to be healthy, you're going to be healthy, right? If you're poor, financially poor, yes, you can say the government, but if people are making money, why not you? Because there are people in any economy, there are people still making money. And it's not all rich people who are mean, who are evil, right? It's not all of that. There's people who are beautiful people doing beautiful work, still generating in any economy. So why not you? So just take full accountability, right? Again, if you don't take full accountability for where you are in your life or what you have or what you don't have, you will be at the mercy of others forever. And I don't think you want that. I don't think you want to be at the mercy of others, whether it's the government, your parents, your spouse, right? The freaking economy, the freaking local food options. I don't think you want to be at the mercy of all of those different entities and people forever. I think you want, maybe you do. Autonomy is better though. It's better to take full accountability, right? It's not easy to wear it on your shoulders and this is all because of me, right? But the flip side is that when you transform and you get where you want to go, you can be like, yo, this is all because of me. I made the decision. Yes, I had the support. Yes, I had the help. When I tell, there's a few friends who have helped me in some incredible ways. And whenever I tell them, thank you, I wouldn't be here without you, they say, nah, it was you. Your idea, your vision, your energy, we are proud to support you. We are proud to help you. But it was you. If you don't take these steps, if you don't move in this direction, then our help doesn't even matter, right? And I'm like, So take full accountability, go forward, and prosper in your life, right? Let's move right along to our fourth and final segment of the day. Today's fourth segment is, as always, a build of the day. And today's build is on the difference between something being ideal and something being perfect. Something being ideal and something being perfect. So now ideal is defined as exactly right for a particular purpose, person, or situation. Exactly right. Perfect is defined as being entirely without fault or default. Absolute, complete, having all the required or desirable elements, qualities, or characteristics. Once again, the build is on the difference between something being ideal and something being perfect. Ideal is defined as exactly right for a particular purpose, person, or situation. And perfect is defined as being entirely without fault or defect, absolute and complete, having all the required or desirable elements, qualities, or characteristics. Now, they may sound similar, but there is a clear difference. And so while something may not be ideal, that's real. Something may not be ideal, but depending on your perspective, it can certainly be perfect. Depending on your perspective, it can certainly be perfect. Not ideal, but perfect. How? Perspective. So, I was going to use an example. I'm not going to use that example. But perfect is when you know that it's all going to work out. Perfect is when you know, you have the mindset that God is in control, that the universe is divine, that everything is working out. Not just that it will work out, but that even in this moment when it seems like it's not working out, it actually is working out. That's perfect. Now, in that perfection, It's not ideal when you lose your freaking home. It's not ideal when a tornado comes. It's not ideal, right? Those are not ideal situations, all right? To lose your money, right? It's not ideal situations to slip, trip, and fall, right? Going through the breakup. It's not ideal, right? It's not an ideal situation. It doesn't create ideal feelings, ideal thoughts, ideal emotions. But depending on your perspective, if you take the right perspective that God is always in control, then it's perfect. Perfect, right? Perfect. All required or desirable elements. One of the things in the brain coaching program we spoke about, right, was an enriched environment. An enriched environment is not an environment without challenges, without quote unquote stress, without struggle. An enriched environment is just enough stress, just enough struggle, just enough challenges to fortify you, for you to become stronger, better, wiser, sharper, more intelligent, more compassionate, more graceful, more loving, more peaceful, more humble, more gracious, right? An enriched environment is not an environment without struggle, without challenges, right? So all the required or desirable, so it's not desirable, but they're required. You in life as a human being are going to go through struggle. You are literally, physically, you're going to have challenges, growing pains. There's going to be challenges as you change, as you grow, as you shift, as you become more, right? There's going to be challenges. So no, not freaking ideal, right? The breakup, the divorce, the absence of children, the freaking financial, all of this shit is not ideal. No, it is not ideal, but it is indeed perfect. It is indeed perfect. So again, it comes down to your perspective. Get into yourself, understand, overstand, and understand that you, to be here, went through a process. To be born and then to be where you are today, have gone through a process. And you have, like I have, like I'm sure we all have, experienced things where we felt like this cannot get no worse. This is worse than it will ever be. I can't believe this is happening to me. When we allow time to happen, stepped away from the initial situation, we can say, oh wow, this thing happened. Look what came out of it. Look what came out of it. Look what came after it. Look how powerful this shit is. Look how beautiful this shit is. If my divorce does not happen, right? I do not get in the. If my divorce does not happen, certain experiences I created with my children don't happen, right? Disney World and all these other parks and theme parks and the community garden in Queensbury. This shit doesn't happen if I don't go through a divorce. If I don't go through a divorce, that shit doesn't happen. Doesn't lead me to connect with a vegan restaurant. Doesn't lead me to meet my ex-girlfriend, right? Who helped me specifically recognize that I can be a provider, that I can be this man that I would like to be, that I had the ideal, right? This ideal man in my mind. And then this current relationship has been the best I've ever had. Because even when there's uncomfortable moments, even when there's and we haven't had any like crazy difficult conversations, but even when there's difficult conversations, it's with love, it's with grace, it's with harmony. There's no yelling at each other, there's no cursing at each other, there's no name calling, right? There's no cold shoulder, right? It's like, it's mature shit, right? So like, if all of the other shit doesn't happen, which didn't feel good in the moment, then I don't get this, where I can be my full self. I've never been able to, in a relationship, I've never been able to be my full self. Even when I was married, I could not be my full self. My full self threatened some people, right? Extremely confident, right? Extreme confidence, right? High intelligence, right? A lot of fucking wit and sarcasm, right? But yeah, man, that's the build of the day. There is a difference between something being ideal and something being perfect, right? Yes, things may not be ideal for you, but trust the process and know that things are indeed perfect. So lean into that shit. Lean into that uncertainty. Know that uncertainty is a beautiful part of the process of living. Being uncertain, not being sure of everything, not needing control of everything. All right, in order for you to feel whole, in order for you to know that it's all working out, it's all good. All right, so stay tapped in, guys. And that's our show for today, man. Sefu said, I once read that perfection is the act of perfecting. It changed my perspective. I see perfection as an ongoing process. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. All right, that is a good way to look at it. My boy Ruck said, my imperfections are perfection. Right? Like the example I use all the time, if a meteor came out the freaking sky, hit the earth, broke into a million pieces, Those million pieces scattered all around the world. They're going to be different shapes. Over time, they're going to be different colors, right? They may be different textures, right? Some are going to be a little more sharp. Some are going to be a little more smooth. Some are going to be a little more rugged, a little rougher, right? A little bigger, smaller. Who the fuck are you to look at that fucking media, piece of media, and say this shit is not perfect? Who are you? That shit was made that way. That's the way it came from the sky. Who the fuck are you? Right? Like, I love us, but we got really inflated an inflated ego, right? We're like, oh, that's not perfect. That shouldn't be like that. Who the fuck are you? Like, it was created that way. And we are how we were created through our life experience. God is always in control. So all the experiences we've had, all of the knowledge or education that we've accumulated, right, is in part due to divine alignment, God source energy. This is the way we were made. Right? This is the way we were made, fearlessly, with love and compassion and grace, beautifully, perfectly. Right? But look, yo, listen, man, I love you guys. I love you guys. Fusa, I don't go through a divorce. I don't meet Malin Bentor, someone who shows me that finding a submissive mate is possible. We have challenges, but confidence is key. Man, blessings. Yo, listen, man, that's our show. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugar Marston. This is episode 509 of SRDaily, week 103 on the kickoff. Happy December 1st. Please do join us right back here tomorrow. Same time, same place, 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and, of course, Instagram Live. Remember, it ain't getting knocked down. That's the problem. It's staying down. So get up! The power is in you. As always, be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. Peace.